Hi there, how are we doing? Tuesday. I had a bit of a busy day yesterday. Look what I managed. This is my quilt top number 3, Witter number 3. I'll be impressed if it ever gets quilted in well, at least in the foreseeable. I can't see that I'm going to have time because you lot are going to carry on keeping me busy till at least July by the looks of it. But there we go. It's what we expected, and probably the very right thing to do, if not more so. So I will carry on wittering regardless, as they say. So this is my last one. Now, what did I do to it? I've put in here a 1-inch sashing strip all the way around, no cornerstones, and I've used the same fabric that I used in my appliques so that it all balanced out. That was my last one that I did the other day, the Dresden plate there, as you can see. All right. And then on the outside edge, I've gone through my scrap basket that I had here, and I've cut loads and loads of strips. Now, I have to say, I just cut the width of my ruler, so they're 6 inches wide, because that was the easiest way to do it, to be totally honest. That width, the length of them, or the little short side of them, I didn't cut anything more than 2.5 inches wide. All right, so they could be 2.5 by 6, and anything below, and some of them are very odd measurements. They're not necessarily spot on quarters or anything like that. It's just whatever I had in my scrap that I could square off to have 6 inch long. Yeah, long is probably the best way to say that, isn't it? And then I joined them all together. And I didn't put them in any order whatsoever. I had all the different fabrics as they were out, and I just randomly picked up and had a big pile. And then I split the pile into 3 and shuffled it around a bit like a deck of cards. And then I chain pieced them. So 2 together, 2 together, 2 together. And just as they came, literally as they came, I kept putting them through the machine. And then once they were all into it, I gave them all a quick iron open. And then I did the same thing again, putting the 2s together, and built it up in that manner until I got them what I thought was long enough, yeah, for the sides. So chain piece them much quicker, saving on thread and all the rest of it. And you get into a bit of a mindset, and you're just whizzing them through your sewing machine there. I have to say, I didn't pay too much attention as to what fabrics were where. The only thing I did do when I got to putting lots of them together was to make sure that I never joined 2 the same. And to be fair, that only happened, they came up a couple of times, in which case I just turned that piece around and joined it the other way around. So it is totally random as such all the way around. Now, me being me, I'd cut massively. So oh, that's enough, that will do it, there's hundreds there, off I go, do, split them into sort of 4, and then I'm like, ew, don't think they're quite long enough. And I could not be bothered to get everything out and start and have another go. So I pulled out, I had one piece of this loveliness here, which is within all of it. And I thought, you know, it's a Tilda fabric and I absolutely adore it. So I thought, I'm just going to put big corners on. So all I did was I cut a length of that then, and joined a lump on the end of each of my long strips and joined it like a cartwheel around. So it's sort of taken up like a cornerstone on the outside edge, totally and utterly by accident. It's a definite design development, and I have to say that there is a very, very dodgy corner is down here, so I'm going to be appliquing a circle over him. And that thought then led me on to actually, and I'd already thought I need to put a couple more circles on to balance things, and I thought, well, do you know what, I'm going to put even more on. So I'd already decided this one was going on here as if he's falling out towards the house. I don't know if you can see that circle there. And a couple just to balance that with the one down here. So I've now put a couple more that are going to go in up there, and that one down there. They're all just pinned on at the minute, and I'll sit and stitch them down tonight. I may or may not add a couple more. What I did fancy, I considered, and I've decided probably against it, was having another heart tipping out over here. Might happen yet, who knows. I don't know that it will though, but there we are. So that's my Witter Quilt 3. just about finished. I'll put photos of that up later. Okay, and it's just yet another way of finishing off a quilt. Obviously this has left it much lighter and brighter than the other two that I've done. The other two are looking quite traditional in comparison. All right, so this is nice and bright and light. So there we go. So we're to top number 3. So I don't know how you're all getting on. I've seen lots of lovely photos. Let me bring my chair back over here. Lots of fabulous photos coming up. Oh, very nice. Can't wait to see them all put together. You're all doing me proud out there. So I did say the other day, what sort of things did you want to do, any ideas or whatever, and I thought I'd go back to my book and have a little look and see what's going on. I am going to keep these sort of traditional-ish, these witters, because to be totally honest, the other stuff that I do can be quite in-depth and it takes quite a bit of demoing and instruction, and I would like to do them justice, and I'll do them as proper workshops further on. So we're going to carry on doing sort of traditional blocks, but I'm now looking at 5 patch patterns. What we've been doing are 9 block or 9 patch, as we call them. So each block or each design has been able to break down into sort of 9 segments, yeah? And it's based on that and a 12-inch finish. Obviously, you could size them up or down or whatever you want to do. 5 patch, they are actually based on, in effect, 5 blocks across, yeah, and 5 down. So you're talking 5 5 25 squares that you can play with and have designs within it, whereas those have only got 9. So you've actually more than doubled the design possibility. The only thing being with them is they can be quite small. All right, so traditionally they would have based those on 2-inch squares, so you would have a 10-inch square finish, but actually quite small and intricate. You don't have to do it like that. Do your own thing. I'm going to draw patterns up for you and put them on as I have before over on Patchwork Witter Quilt. And I'm marking them up at 2 inches so that you can see. But if you want to make your first basic square 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, it's totally up to you. Because these designs are actually quite intricate. You could make them quite large. You could have cushions, you could have bags, you could have table centres, you could have tablecloths. You could do a whole stack of them smaller and make a quilt top. It's going to bring in far more possibility for things to make, I think. Okay, so it's totally up to you what sizes you're going to aim for. I think I'm going to do 3-inch, which is slightly larger than the normal, so I'll land up with a 15-inch finished square. Now, I'm thinking, ooh, actually, cushion covers, stuff like that, so you can add a nice border onto it. Job done. If they come out really well, you could put sashings in them and make a little quilt top. You could put a big quilt top. But as I say, you make your blocks to the size that you want. Okay, so first pattern's there. All right. Okay. What I've done with this one, I've put that it's 5 patch pattern based on 2, 3 or 4 inch squares. Now you, as I say, you make your own mind up on that. All right. It's what suits you, not what suits me. Don't forget to add your seam allowances always, because my measurements on here will not have a seam allowance put on. All right. And I've also put numbers in circles this time for the order in which you would join things together. Okay. Think the same as we always have done before. Straight line stitching, no stitching round corners unless you really, really have to. All right. And then make your square, so that would be a square there, and you've got like an oblong in the middle there, and there's another square, so that's going to make your strip. Then you're going to do your centre, which is a skinny strip, but it's still a strip, and then your bottom strip, which in effect is reverse of the top, and then it's strip to strip to strip for your square. All right, so keep it straight line. 1/4 inch seam allowance is what we always work on if you can, so don't forget to add that on when you're working out. All right. Triangles. Now you've got some funnies going on here and here. All right, they do need to be one way or the other. Okay, so be careful. Do your template if you have to, and make sure you cut them around the right way, because if you cut one way and not the other way, they're not good. Yeah, it's not going to work. All right, so just be aware of that one. What else have we got? We got little ones of these, little triangles. So again, you've got quite a few triangles going on in there. Don't handle them unless you have to. All right, so press your fabric first, so as it's nice and flat when you're doing your triangle. Cut it, place it where you need it, leave it alone until you have to sew it. All right, so no handling, no fussing with it because actually it's a bit crinkly and I can't get it straight and all of this, that and the third thing. Press it first. All right, with the little ones, it will make your life so much easier. Okay. What else have we got? So yeah, straight line stitching, strip to strip to strip. Don't handle it. If your fabric's quite thin, you could always put a little bit of spray starch into it. That would be a good thing. That will give you a bit more body to it. All right, totally up to you. You've got the possibility here of some real good fussy cutting. Now, I don't know if I've ever mentioned fussy cutting before. It's where we might have a nice piece of pattern design on your fabric specifically. Ooh, actually I like that little bit there and I'm going to put it in the middle of, and so we will cut holes in the middle of perfectly good big pieces of fabric to have one tiny little square out the middle of it. We are a bit bizarre, but aren't all patchworkers bizarre? So yes, so fussy cut if you fancy it, that would be good. Somebody else suggested bright colours next to each other and clashing things and such like. Oh, well, do you know what? That actually is quite a nice idea. I'm assuming we're scrapping and stashing again because, again, each day I don't know what I'm going to be doing. So, a bit of a challenge now, I think. How about having a look in your stash and seeing, have you got some fabric that actually you don't really like a lot? Yeah? Pull that out. And let's put something with it and either go for it and make it lovely or put something that's really clashing with it to see what you get, yeah? Or work out of your comfort zone colour-wise. Something a bit different. Maybe work plains when you would normally work patterned and vice versa. Maybe you've been online and you've been looking at some lovely, fat quarter bundles or something. And maybe get some that aren't quite your normal way. Maybe you've got something given you, not your normal colourway. Make it a little bit more of a challenge this time. We're all very good in our safe comfort zone. If you haven't got anything to hand and you seriously don't like that idea, well, then that's fine too. You carry on as you would want. So what I've done, because I've been sort of chucked a bit of a challenge really, I've actually opened up. I've been really naughty. And I've got there, that's a Tilda fat quarter bundle that I've got several that I sell there. Well, you can see that actually they're very sort of reddy coral colours, which isn't something that I would normally pick. And actually it's quite ditzy. I have to admit I'm getting into ditzy at the minute, so that's maybe not such a challenge, but that colour to me there, that design, I don't know if you can see that one. There we are. That's actually quite different for me. Although it's bright, it's not a colourway that I would normally, I'm going to put that back there, you can see it, I would normally go to. And there's a paler one there. And now this one, I'm figuring this one might fussy cut, look, because you've got some lovely little flowery bits going on here and you could cut a square out of that here and there. So I'm going to have a go at that. And then this comes with, oh, I love this one actually, I have to say, a very nice little ditzy thing, which is like a filler, yeah. This is going to be quite bright, I'm thinking, and yeah, bright is not a problem to me at all, but as I say, the colourway is not what I would normally do. All right, so that's my choice there. Now, to make it clash or make it look a bit, that wouldn't be your normal, I had a quick look behind me yesterday or last night. This was about 11 o'clock last night actually, and I thought, oh, what can I put with that that's going to be a little bit different and not what you would expect to see with it. Okay, there we are, bright green, and that's a batik. Okay, so there we are. You're not going to miss that lot as a mix, are you? So we're going to see what that does. Okay, I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to place it, how it's going to come out. We'll find out. Yeah, that's a good one. Some people will say, oh, you're mixing batik with cotton. So what? It's all nicely fabric. It's all usable fabric. What's wrong with it? The only thing with batiks and that, I would always give a wash first. Or at least I should say I would normally. It's not happening today. Excuse me. That is something I don't know if I've touched on or not. If in doubt, wash your fabrics before you start using anything, in case it runs, in case it distorts. Excuse me. In case it shrinks, anything like that. So you really want that happening before you make an item that you might then quilt and spend hours and hours on, and then it shrink on you when you first wash it. So there we go. That's the challenge for today. I didn't mention that this block, according to my book, is called Crazy Anne. And I didn't even realise that until I was drawing this up just now, which to me is absolutely hysterical, because most of you have probably twigged Anne is my second name. And so I've renamed it Crazy Abby Anne. Seemed like a plan to me. A bit fortuitous, who knows? I think this is a nice idea. I'm liking this block before I've even started it. Yeah, so a lot of blocks have hundreds of different names. I say hundreds, that's an exaggeration as normal. Lots of different names depending where you are in the world. So although you might recognise this one, you might have a different name for it. Well, I'm christening it Crazy Abby Anne today. All right. I think that works well. My dad would have liked that. I'm an Abigail Anne, really, as in 2 words. But he used to call me Abby Anne. So that's where that all came from, really. So just a bit of useless info for you there. What else? So, exercise. We can do a bit more. We can go out as often as we want. Unless you're in the isolation group, in which case I am so sorry, folks. You'll have me wittering at you most days, though. So, up and down the stairs as we were doing before, out and down the back step, whatever works, okay? So we're going to have a bit of exercise. We're going to do a bit of tidying if we have to do tidying. Do you know what? I had one on me this morning. I got up early. Mind you, I went to bed really late, but I got back up early again. And I've done the washing, and I've cleaned the kitchen, and I put the dishwasher on, and I tidied up in the front room, and then I came out here, and I've cleaned the kitchen here, and I've cleaned all of Tom's water bowls, and I've been busy. Totally amazing. So I've done my fair share of tidying today, I think. And talking to friends. I have neglected a few friends. Lynn, sorry darling, I will ring you back, honestly. Lynn Carr up there in Bude. I will give you a shout later. And I know there's several of you that I owe quick messages to and such like. The fact that I'm doing this, I am a bit busy. I'm here, I'm okay. Thank you for caring. And I will shout you later. My day today will consist of finishing packing orders. Felicity, I have yours in hand to do. Off down to the post office. Off to collect a sewing machine for servicing. Come back, make this block, finish that one there, and just see as the day progresses, which is brilliant. All right. If there's anything you see fabric wise, I did put some photos on yesterday because I'd been asked to, that you feel you need stock, shout me on. I'm happy to take a closer up photo. You won't find most of the stock on my website because it's just me. I haven't got time as much as anything else, and I'm not really a full-on shop, except for because we're in lockdown. My stock usually helps with the classes and workshops that I run in here, and obviously my own design work. So it's open to everybody as such, but I am not technically a shop. That bit Irish, but there we are. And I know it's no offence to the Irish because I'm actually sending stuff to you today as well. That's lovely. All my patterns and the templates and things like that you will find over on my website. And obviously if you buy any of my patterns and stuff, you will get full support from me, backup if you get a problem with them. I don't just send you off something and abandon you. If you do need a bit of a hand, I'm always there to help. In all of my patterns, I shall just say quickly, you've got a full instruction. There's normally photos in there if there's anything detailed you would need to maybe have a bit of help with, or I think that might need a bit more explaining. I'll put photos in. And you've always got a full-sized pattern, all right, a full-sized paper pattern, so that you can just get on with it when it arrives in your door. If there's one thing I hate, is if I've gone somewhere and seen and bought and I'm really all keyed up, want to start something, get home, you need to go somewhere to size up your pattern before you can start. I find that infuriating. So you probably sussed it, although I'm a bit quirky and weird, I'm also quite traditional on quite a lot of levels. So I like my patterns paper based and ready to roll. All right, so there we are. I don't quite know where that bit came from, but there we are. I've told you now. If you're watching this, hopefully you're on YouTube. Can I please ask, will you please subscribe to my they call it my channel. That to me is a bit bizarre, but there we are. And subscribing doesn't mean that it's costing you anything, because these actual are all free. Okay, subscribing just means you're following. I don't know if it's an Americanism or what it is, but it would be nice if you would do that. I'd appreciate it. Then I know where I'm going with life, and it helps business in truth. And I'll be honest, in this day and age, because I'm not out there teaching you all and running my workshops and retreats and stuff, I appreciate the support. I really, really do. Hopefully we'll all come out the other end together and carry on again. So there we are. Have a lovely day and be lovely.